Hello, I'm Kettlepip, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV and the Sastasha dungeon, or instance, whatever you want to call it. This is the first dungeon you'll go into in the game, and you get into it by basically following your main storyline that starts in the city that you start in, and if you keep doing that, eventually you'll get sent here, and you'll get sent to 3 dungeons in a row, and this is the first one. I'm here with some guildies. Lily, who's our tank, who's a gladiator, Sunlona, who's an arcanist, Rizlona, who's a conjurer, who's our healer, and there's me, and I'm playing my archer. And this is actually the first time that I've been a damage dealer or DPS in an instance. I usually tank on my marauder, but we already had a tank, so I thought I'd jump in and give this a go. So, not sure how spectacular I'm going to be, but I kind of mash buttons and hope for the best. But it's a good introductory instance. It's not hugely difficult. It's not difficult at all. There's only one boss in here that has any real mechanic of note, where doing it right or wrong makes a huge difference, and that's right at the end. But everything else is kind of like a dungeon tutorial, really. There's not huge packs unless you massively overpull, but it's a good chance for the tank to learn more than anything. And for the group to mark and to prioritise targets, and make their way around. It's nice, it works, it's good. And when you've cleared the first few packs, you get a note here which says Captain prefers a colour, and just make a note of the colour because it becomes a little bit important later on. So you just keep working your way around. It's linear, and you've got a few trash packs. Nothing special in the trash. These jellyfish guys have one kind of special ability. It's like a conal attack, so it's usually on the tank, and but it's telegraphed, and it's got like a big red blob on the ground, and you just move out of it. It's no big deal. So you keep blasting your way through the trash, and it's only a few pulls, and then you come to the next type of trash, and these can be, they're fine, they're no problem, it's all nice and easy. The only difficulty can be if your group is kind of not quite sure what's going on, but there are these clams, and there are small adds, and as long as the clam's alive, it will keep spawning small adds, so you kind of prioritise killing the clam. Once the clam's dead, you can move on to kill the little adds. So the only time it gets a little bit tricky is when, if you're tanking, is if your DPS run in and just start blasting away on the little adds before shooting the clam, and it all just gets a little bit messy, in which case I usually end up leaving them to it and just going and killing the clam. But if you're tanking, and your group knows what you're doing, you can just run in and drop an AoE or whatever on the little adds, then just run in, everyone will focus down the clam, and then you can just nuke down the adds. Once you've done a couple of runs of this place, this bit is the only bit that's really a drag. It's like 5 minutes of making your way along a little twisty road, killing clams and killing crabs and jellyfish. There's a treasure chest to pick up along the way. I found coming here as a tank for the first time, I was a little bit disorientated because it kind of looks the same all the way through. So until I learnt my way around without thinking about it, I found the best thing to do was just keep an eye on the mini-map, just keep following that around, and eventually end up in the right place. Right, so having cleared all your clams and whatnot, you come to this area here where there's a choice of 3 corals, plants to click, and you want to click the one that's the colour that was on the note you found earlier. So I went ahead and clicked the red, and that reveals this switch here. If you click the wrong one, you get a jellyfish to kill, and then you click again. It's no big deal really. And that spawns the first boss, who is a dog, or a quirl, I guess they're called. Pretty much super simple tank and spank. It does one ability, which is doing here, which is like an AoE. So when the mark appears on the ground if you're tanking, you just move out of it and then move back in. One semi-interesting thing to note here, I guess, is that Final Fantasy seems to calculate whether you're in the AoE at the point when the animation reaches the outside of the circle, but then it will do the ability afterwards. So as soon as the ability reticule on the ground has kind of disappeared, you can run straight back in, even if there's a damage animation going on, and you should be fine. So once you're done with some loot here, you just click on the thing on the wall, which opens up the door, and you're off. And there's a patrol here, and it is possible to get the groups without the patrol, but I think I've seen that once out of a few runs, and generally pulling them all is fine, as long as you mark something up, like we don't. Okay, and after just one trash pack you kind of come across the next boss, which is nice. So the next boss is the pirate boss. It's not the last time you're going to fight him, but the first time you see him, he's 2 ads with him, so just mark them up, kill the ads, and then kill the boss. But you can't actually kill him yet. Once he gets down to low health, he runs off, and you get to fight him again a little bit later on. And he does nothing special at all. He might as well be a trash pack with one of the mobs having shitloads of HP. And off he goes. And he goes running off down the corridor. And what I've seen happen more times than not, if we've got an Arcanist in the group, if you watch Carbuncle there, he is going shooting off down the corridor. And he will go and pull a bunch of crap. This is I think Arcanists actually really like to do this. Right, so I try and bind that guy who's run to try and kill the Arcanist, and try and give the tank some time to gather everything up. And then just start working our way through this massive pack. And as nothing is marked at the moment, I kind of have managed to pick up one of the mobs myself, and the poor tank is going, what the fuck? So I kind of bring him back and then run away, and eventually I think I have the bright idea of actually marking something. There we go. Executive decision. Kill that thing. So after chewing your way through the inevitable overpull, you enter a kind of a hub area, which has got a couple of more packs in it, but it's got rooms off to the side, and in each of the rooms there's kind of a couple of mobs, and in sort of 2 or 3 of them there can be treasure chests. So generally what you'll do is go around, have a quick peek in each room, and if you can see a treasure chest, clear out the mobs in there and then loot your chest. So nothing in that one. And there's nothing in that one. But for some reason we go in and decide to kill shit anyway. Because that's just how we're rolling apparently. Luckily, because that massive pull earlier, we've already killed everything in this area of the room, which I guess has saved some time. And this is the first room on the left hand side. It's a little bit different to the others. There always seems to be a treasure chest in there, but it's absolutely chock full of mobs. But when you run in, they all start to fight each other, and you can just ignore them, and you can run in, loot the treasure chest, and get the fuck out. So the second room on the left, it's always got a treasure chest in it. This is the one that most groups always seem to come in and clear. And once you've killed the pack of 2 there, you can pick up a key off the crate and you unlock the door with it, and you rescue some ladies and go and get some loots. The mobs in this middle area, they drop a key, which opens up the door in front of us there, which has got a boss in it. Well, a mini boss. And when I say mini boss, I just mean a mob that's got a lot of HP but doesn't do anything particularly special. So you use your key to unlock the door, and you just run in and he's a tank and spank. I think he does, he tries to do like a marauder or AoE thing in front of him at some point when he's on about a quarter health, but it's ridiculously easy to just step out the way. And I think he can actually be stunned if you're a marauder anyway. But he drops a key as well that you need to open the next door, which is the one on the far right hand side from where you came in. Once you're through the door, it's a straight run through to the next boss fight, which is your second encounter with the pirate, and it starts off exactly the same as the first one. You've got the pirate and you've got 2 ads, but there's a bit of a twist with this one later on. which you can see our tank knows about because he's moved the mobs over towards that door on the left hand side. So you just nuke down your 2 adds and then just keep pewing away on the pirate. So there's nothing really challenging about these boss fights. So at 50% the doors open and a load of hounds come in, and you just run up to them and just start mashing your favourite AoE ability until they're dead. But it's just teaching you some very basic dungeon mechanics, and if that's what it's intended to do, it works quite well. So again, once he gets on low health, he goes bolting off down the corridor. So there's just a little stretch of trash left before the last boss. There's quite a few mobs in this room. You don't actually need to kill everything. If you just hug the left hand wall, you can clear the mobs along the left and get to the boss, avoiding quite a few of them. Okay, with those packs all cleared out of the way, you're at the last boss. And you get a nice little cutscene, and the pirate that you've been chasing the whole time gets splattered by a fish dude. And the fish dude is the last boss. So if you look as I'm running in, there are these grates in each corner of the room. And you kind of want to just spread out a bit and keep an eye on those. And if you can, find a position where you can kind of see 2 of them, which I don't manage to do initially. I think I could get a bit further away than I had meant to. And after a while, 1 or more of those grates will start to bubble. And when it bubbles, you need to run over and click on it. Here we go. So if you click on it, that stops it. And if you don't click on it, an ad comes out. So as this can be happening on like 2 or 3 of the grates, if you don't click on them, you can have a bunch of ads, which when you're playing with a pug, generally tends to happen most of the time, and you end up with about like 10 ads on the boss. And so there, I had 2 on my side, and being able to get 2 is a bit tricky. There's not quite enough time to click one, run to the other side and click the other before the ad comes, but when that happens you can just quickly nuke one down. They haven't got an awful lot of health. So drop that one and then just get back on the boss. And that's the fish dude dead. And then you get to watch a nice little cutscene, and then you can get your loot. So that's that. That's Sastasha, the first dungeon in Final Fantasy XIV. It's good fun. It's not too taxing. This wasn't intended to be a guide when I pressed record, and I suppose it's not really a guide still. But I hope it was of interest and possibly of use. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.